Hi, it's Sylvester, and Donald Trump signed an executive order. I'm going to read a part of this executive order. It is the policy of the United States that it will not fund, sponsor, promote, assist, or support the so called transition of a child from one sex to another, and it will rigorously enforce all laws that prohibit or limit these destructive and life altering procedures. Basically, people under the age of 19 are not going to be able to medically transition. They are not going to have access to trans health care. And this absolutely breaks my heart, and it pisses me off. I'm upset that Donald Trump is going for the children. Leave children alone. I know people on the other side think that we, the trans people, are the ones who are after the children, that we're brainwashing them into thinking that they're a different gender. But I promise you, you feel who you are on the inside. It is not something that you are told, it's not something that can be forced onto you. It is something that you just know and you feel. And I promise you that most trans children are not being forced into being trans by their incredibly liberal parents. That is a fantasy that the conservatives have cooked up. That just doesn't happen. Or if it does, it very, very rarely happens. Most trans children are just trans people who happen to be children. They're just children who happen to be trans. It's as simple as that. And on the inside, if you're a girl and you know that you're a girl, it doesn't matter if the whole world is telling you you're a boy. You know that you're a girl. And it's the same the other way around. You know, if you're a boy and you know you're a boy and the whole world is telling you a girl, it doesn't matter because you know that you're a boy. Or non-binary. It's just I feel like I'm preaching to the choir because the people who click on this video, there's going to be two types of people who click on this video. Either people who agree with Donald Trump, who aren't going to give me the time of day, they're not going to listen to what I have to say, and they're just here to immediately leave a dislike and maybe a hate comment if they're feeling up to it. And then there's the other type of people who are the people who agree with me and understand that trans children need to be protected and need to have access to gender affirming care. And those people, like, I don't really need to explain to them why what Trump is doing is wrong because they know. So this video is kind of pointless, is what I'm saying. But I just wanted to say that as a trans man, if I had known that being trans was a thing when I was a child, I have no doubt in my mind that I would have marched up to my parents in my stubborn little way and said, "Mom, Dad, I'm a boy. I'm trans." And, I'm assuming since my parents are pretty open-minded people, they would have said, "Okay, then you can be a boy." And if I had been allowed to transition when I was a child, it would have saved me so much pain and so much suffering later on in my life. I mean, I would have been bullied for being trans at a young age. I would have experienced a ton of transphobia throughout my life that luckily I was spared because I didn't realize I was trans until I was older. And so that's the worst part about, or like one of the worst parts about being trans is having to experience transphobia. In my mind, it's the worst part about being trans is experiencing a ton of transphobia all the time. So these trans children, that's the thing that we should be worrying about and trying to combat is the transphobia that they're facing and the bullying and the harassment from grown-ass adults. We should not be worried about the fact that these children are trans. We should be worried about how people treat them because they are trans, you know? And like I said, if I had been a kid and I'd been allowed to transition, it would have allowed me to live my life more authentically. I always say, like, I'm sad that I never got to be a little boy. I'm sad that I never got to be a teenage boy. I'm sad I never got to be a man in my early 20s. Like, and that's not entirely the truth because I've always been a man. My entire life, I've always been a boy. I just didn't realize it. But I didn't get to live my life the way I wanted to in a body that felt more like mine. Like, I had so much gender dysphoria that I didn't recognize as gender dysphoria, so I just kept pushing it down or explaining it away and like trying to pretend it wasn't there because I didn't know what it was, because I didn't know that gender dysphoria existed. I didn't know what being trans really meant until I was in my early 20s. Like, I didn't know. But if I had known that as a child and recognized that gender dysphoria, I would have wanted treatment for that gender dysphoria. I would have immediately went to my parents, and again, in my stubborn little way, I would have said, "You got to take me to a doctor because I need to transition. I am not going through female puberty. Heck no. I'm a man, and you're going to make sure that I grow up as a man." And my parents probably would have been like, "Okay, fine." Like, I don't know if they would have liked it, but again, I was a stubborn kid and I always got my way. So it makes me very sad to think that there are children out there who, like a young Sylvester, are saying to their parents, "I need gender affirming care. I need this. I need puberty blockers. I need, whatever it is that they need to help their gender dysphoria." And their parents are saying, "Well, Trump's making it so that we can't give that to you. Trump's making it so that you can't access the medical care that you need." And it's just heartbreaking, and it's frustrating, and it pisses me off. It really, really pisses me off how many children are going to suffer with treatable gender dysphoria, and they're going to have to wait until they're 19 before they can do something about it. And it's just so frustrating. I can't imagine if I had found out what being trans was when I was a child and realized that I was a boy. If I then had to wait until I was 19 to freaking do something about it, I would have lost my mind. I would have went absolutely crazy. Are you kidding me? Like, if I had known that what I was suffering with was gender dysphoria at a young age, and then I had to wait until I was 19 years old to do something about it, like, that would be hell. Like, it's just, I don't know how to explain to cisgendered people how awful gender dysphoria is, because I don't know how, like, it's just a pain that you can't describe. Like, it's just a feeling that you are in the wrong body. Like, it's just like, you don't know how to explain it. You don't know why you feel the way you do. You don't have like an explanation for why you feel it, but you just know that you feel it. Once you are able to put it into words and realize what it is, you just know, but you can't explain it. Like, I don't know. I've tried before to explain what it's like to have gender dysphoria, and like, the best thing I could think of is, like, you just wake up one day and you realize that you're in the wrong body. Like, I mean, it doesn't happen that suddenly for a lot of people. Like, for me, it took me a long time to come to terms with the fact that I was experiencing gender dysphoria and to realize that I was trans. It took me a while. It wasn't like I just woke up one day and was like, "Oh, wow, I get it now." It took me a while. I was a little bit slow getting there, but like, a lot of kids aren't like that. A lot of kids, they really do. Like, once they've learned what gender dysphoria is, it's just like everything clicks and they're like, "Yep, that's me. I have that and I need treatment for it." And it's like, I envy those children because I wish that I had figured it out sooner, because it would have made my life better. It would have saved me a lot of suffering in the long run. But anyways, I've talked too much. Again, this video is useless and nobody's watching it, so I just wanted to put my 2 cents in, I guess. I just wanted to, like, I don't know. Like, there's a lot of bad stuff that happens in the world that I just ignore because I can't make a YouTube video about every bad thing that happens, Like, it would drain me, and that's not what I want this channel to be. I want this channel to be a place where I talk about stuff that I want to talk about, and do things that I want to do. And I don't want to talk about heavy, sad, horrible things that are happening in the world. I just don't want to. That's not what this channel's for. But I just felt like, as a trans person, I couldn't just not acknowledge that this is happening, because it truly enrages me, and I don't know I don't know what else I can do other than make a video, but it makes me feel like I'm doing something at least, you know? Like maybe this video will change one person's mind out there. You know, maybe there's one person watching this who is kind of on the fence about like, I don't know if children should be allowed to have gender affirming care, and then they watch my video and they're like, "Oh, you've convinced me." Like, I don't know. I'm not very convincing. I don't know if that's true, but like maybe one person out there is now going to believe trans children when they tell people what their gender is. Like, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I'm out here trying to make a difference, I guess. I don't know. I shouldn't be laughing. Again, this is a serious video about a serious topic, and it seriously pisses me off, but I'm trying to not be angry because my anger scares people, and so I'm happy. I'm happy. It's fine. Everything's fine. It's gonna be fine. Donald Trump, please leave trans children alone. Please leave children alone. Let children have bodily autonomy. Let children decide their own genders. Let children live. Just leave children alone. Trump. That's all. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Stay frosty. Bye.